Hello all. Alright, I need to get some of this environmental news out. Let's go over to the board. Okay, we're going to go back up to the North Pole area and look at what happened in the Bering Sea this winter. We had record low ice, but that's not all. It was half of what it was in 2001, which is the lowest it's ever been. Let's look at this chart. The chart is science and doesn't lie. What you're seeing here is catastrophic climate change. The planet is now spinning into the ground. The ship is now starting to tip over and take on tons of water. People are flying through the air and hitting the walls. How do I know that? We'll see in the next segment. So water temperatures in the Bering Sea are 18 to 21.5 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than normal, or 10 to 12 degrees Celsius above normal water temperature. The reason for that is storms keep coming in from the south and warming the water and pushing the ice and breaking it up. Usually when the Bering Sea becomes ice-free, it's not for at least 4 more weeks. But this year, it broke up 4 weeks ahead of schedule. Not good. You remember some time ago, we talked about how climate change would be much more costly than any terrorist attacks. We're seeing that happen now throughout the world. And we're also seeing changes in where manufacturing is being done around the earth. Let's go over the board again and check that out. So a lot of the manufacturing in China is now moving to Vietnam and Indonesia. And why that's so bad is because China was beginning to clean up its source of energy from coal over to gas-fired or gas itself, which is cleaner in some respects than coal, since coal is the dirtiest form of manufacturing electricity there is. So what will be the first of ongoing growth in these two countries? It's textiles, apparel, and cheap electronics is what's being manufactured there now. The worst thing about this is the corporations are moving to these places because these two countries use carbon-rich coal for making electricity, which is the cheapest form of electricity, but is also the dirtiest. Unfortunately, manufacturers just don't care. It has nothing to do with the bottom line. So, on another subject, as we mentioned before, climate change is going to be the most costly thing to governments ever compared to any of the other problems that governments have had. Let's take India, for example. They've had another day of people being killed by lightning strikes. We reported this a few videos back. This time, it killed 80 plus people by lightning strikes, and there were 200 injuries plus, of wind speeds up to 170 kilometers an hour, or 4867 miles per hour, which is raising havoc, blowing trees over, killing people and injuring them, blowing roofs off of buildings. India isn't exactly built very well. They're a poor country, and they use whatever they can, the cheapest. Starting to sound like the U.S. Unfortunately, it looks like the Paris Climate Agreement is going to be trashed anyway. The orange regime will have none of it. In fact, there are more rules being gutted here in the U.S. every day. So many, I can't even keep up. I could use an entire studio all day to keep up with this stuff. I definitely appreciate all the last comments and the ups and the downs, and definitely the new subscribers. YouTube is putting a lot of emphasis on subscriber count. I don't know why. It really doesn't make any difference on viewer count. I think that's because they don't put notifications out too well. Another glitch at YouTube. Alright guys, until next time.